Kevin Monroe took the Pro Laps Pole Award at the uniquely shaped Louisville Speedway. Zach Webster moves up to second after outside pole sitter Chuck Johnson fails to get going now. Monroe sweeping up the track. Webster gets on the inside of him, heading into turn 4, and leads the first lap of the race. I think we're still calling that turn 4, right? But fast forward to lap 9, Billy Ray Smith-Thompson, who started 4th, uses John Burr's pick to get by the 41 and take the lead for himself, but the battle would be interrupted by Monica Rook taking a wild ride down the backstretch. Car 22 would be done for the day, obviously, but so would Billy Ray Smith-Thompson under this yellow, the engine on the number 2 Smash Beer Lennard Let's Go. Approaching the 1/3 mark, Johnson Clapp, car 64, comes to life, looking for another short track victory this season as he easily gets by Zach Webster. Starting second would be Chuck Johnson's only highlight of the night. He fell through the field steadily and now gets caught up in a wreck with the lapped Flip Papadopoulos. Battle for second is on between Zach Webster and Roy Warren, with Kurt Walker getting in the way, but Walker finally lets Zach Webster by. Bud Holtz in the B0 gets turned around by Archer Helms right in front of leader Johnson Clapp. Bud Holtz goes for a tumble and will limp back to the pits along with Johnson Clapp. Gets taken out in easily the most controversial incident of the night. But this hands the lead back over to Zach Webster, who has easily had one of the fastest cars of the night after Johnson Clapp, looking for his first win since 2014. Points leader Rick Forrest running 5th, looking to chase down Kevin Monroe as the lapped car gets in the way. They split the 49 down the middle. And the battle for 4th is on. Forrest trying to make something happen around the outside. Kevin Monroe fell back a bit after winning the pole, but has made his way back up to the top 5. But Forrest beat him to the line as the caution came out. But Monroe gets the spot back, and now with 10 laps to go, he's challenging Roy Warren for his second place. But Zach Webster has pulled out to a big lead, and with several lapped cars in the way, it's going to be a tall order to catch him. And unfortunately, Monroe is not going to get that opportunity as Chuck Johnson blows up just past the pit entrance. He's going to come to his stop on the inside of the front stretch and bring out the yellow flag for the final time tonight. The race will end under caution, and Zach Webster snaps his winless streak and takes his second career victory. Webster trailed Rick Forrest by just 18 points coming into tonight's race, so this victory is going to give him a huge advantage, especially since Rick Forrest fell back a few spots over the final few runs. Next up would be the Donuts 100 at the circular Langhorne Speedway. Riley Durbin took the Pro Labs Pole Award and quickly takes off 3 wide behind him as Billy Bob Childers got a poor start. Dalton Johnson and Dale Clough almost wipe out the leader, but Billy Ray Smith-Thompson runs right into the back of Dalton Johnson, coming back to the yellow. Smith-Thompson was running second. He'll have to pit for that damage. And after the restart, Lev Azarov gets a big run on Riley Durbin, takes over the lead, and coming to the line, Lev Azarov will finally lead his first lap of the season. He won the pole a couple weeks ago at Mosport, but then he lost the lead immediately. And now he loses the lead to Monica Rook on the following restart as Rook stays out. On some pit strategy, Max Hollifield in the 51 had a quick stop and restarted in 3rd. Azarov took the lead back, but Rook is still hanging on despite being on some older tires. Here she is fending off Bob Steffens and Billy Bob Childers for 2nd. Kevin Monroe has a problem, gets rear-ended by Liam O'Connor. Ashley Tucker, car 83, has nowhere to go, and Monroe still trying to make it back into the pit lane, collects Dan Mayato and Mark Thompson. So Monroe, being a bit bullheaded and trying to get back to the pit lane, is going to take a couple more cars out. Mark Thompson has entered in this race in one of Danica Hollifield's backup cars. That's not a car that team is going to get to use again, as you just saw Tom Brayton join in the fun and rear-end the 251. Mark Thompson doing everything he can to make every race this season. Lap 43, the pole sitter Riley Durbin gets taken out by Greg Gray. Rick Forrest gets collected, and so does his cousin Dom Forrest, car 59. A big pileup ensues as Kenny George in the 50 goes rolling. Danica Hollifield helps him up and onto his roof, and Kenny George goes for a big tumble on that hard asphalt. He's going to be feeling that in the morning, I'm sure. Lev Azarov starts smoking as the field files into the pit lane. So right after his first opportunity to lead laps this season, Lev Azarov is done for the day. Packer Carroll leads on the restart. Now, Carroll's been struggling a bit this season compared to his rookie teammate, Hunter Blaze. Greg Gray in trouble again as he slows down in the middle of the track, taking out Johnson Clapp and Roy Warren. But despite the damage and breakdown, Greg Gray would continue as his teammate, Billy Ray Smith-Thompson, has made his way back up to the front of the field and is now challenging Packer Carroll for the lead. But Packer Carroll isn't making that easy. And now Smith-Thompson has some challengers in the form of Jim Kidd and Bob Steffens. This now becomes a 4-car battle for the lead, looking very much like a super speedway race, as Jim Kidd now slides into second place around the outside. And just like a super speedway race, another big one ensues. Johnson Clapp and Monica Rook almost end up on their lids after Billy Bob Childers runs into the back of the ailing Hunter Blaze. And thanks to all these pileups, only 13 cars remain. Coming to 35 to go, Packer Carroll continues to lead, and his competition has certainly thinned out greatly. This is also going to give a big opportunity to some of the smaller and slower teams. Ronnie Holter and Dalton Johnson, in particular, stand to score some big finishes. Less than 20 to go now. The Power Surge America teammates have dispatched Packer Carroll. Jim Kidd making a run for the lead around the outside of his teammate, Billy Bob Childers. That is not an error. Childers was in the lead despite having that damaged car, but now here comes Billy Ray Smith-Thompson with a big run around the outside. Smith-Thompson very much demonstrating the key to winning here at Langhorne. As we go 3 wide for the lead, Smith-Thompson knowing how to work that throttle, as this track is just one giant curve, no straightaways to speak of. Billy Ray Smith-Thompson pulls away, and another winless streak is going to come to an end as Billy Ray Smith-Thompson takes his first career FARC Lowe Dollar Series victory, bringing the famous number 2 Smash Beer Lennard back to victory lane for the first time since Jason Bates did it at Talladega in 2014. Also of note, Packer Carroll grabs his first top 5 of the season and led the most laps as well at a total of 19. Jim Kidd in 6th was the last car on the lead lap, and Greg Gray, despite getting into 2 accidents, finishes 9th, 2 laps down. It is now dirt racing time at the treacherous 7077 Speedway, and Billy Ray Smith-Thompson follows up his victory with the Pro Laps Pull Award, leading Zach Webster to the start and pulling out to the early lead. Dalton Johnson clearly going for style rather than speed early on, as he gets his car up into the air off of turn 2. He gets back going without drawing a yellow, but then Kelly Splicin right behind him goes for a spin into the turn 3 wall, and Kenny George has nowhere to go but into the back of the 96, so that takes car number 50 out for the 4th week in a row. An unfortunate streak for Kenny George that started in Mosport. Lev Azarov going for the lead once again. Billy Ray Smith-Thompson overshooting the corner. Rick Forrest gets into the wall now. Lawrence Burr piles into him, carrying the sponsor of this race, unfortunately, and Danica Hollifield knocks Rick Forrest up onto his roof. Anthony Griffith, car number 07, also involved, a small pileup in turn 3. John Burr getting into a wreck now with Hunter Blaze. Mark Thompson in the 0 for Dale Clow this week piles into him and leaves the 54 on his roof. More problems for Anthony Griffith. He pulls that 07 car into the pit lane and will drop out. Tough break for Griffith. He had this race circled on his calendar all year. Rick Forrest is amazingly still running. Kind of. He's now broken down in turn 1. Aaron Coltier in car 113 gets into the back of him. Rick Forrest is going to need a tow back to the pits, and unfortunately for his main points rival Zach Webster, the 41 car blows up under this caution, and the 60 team continues to demonstrate their improbable resilience today by getting Forrest back out onto the track again. Battle for the lead between teammates. Hometown hero Ralph West on the inside of Billy Ray Smith-Thompson, but he overshoots turn 2. Smith-Thompson comes back around. Lapped car of Allie Riggs making things a little bit difficult, but Smith-Thompson clears the 8 and takes over the lead once again, but the caution is out for Dalton Johnson in the 40, being stopped on the inside. After the race's halfway point, we are treated to one heck of a battle between Ralph West and Lev Azarov. These two would exchange the lead over and over, and they're able to do it without anyone else taking an advantage. Big wiggle from Ralph West there allows Azarov to get away, and it would be Azarov prevailing as he drops the hammer after a restart with less than 10 laps to go. Ralph West in the 8, struggling to catch him, but Alexa Lake running in 8th breaks down in the middle of turn 2, and with no way for her to get out of the way, a pileup ensues behind her. Billy Bob Childers in the 16 has some damage. Bob Steffens and Taylor Brillin also involved. Alexa Lake finally comes to a stop. Here's another look at it. There goes the 9 spinning. Hunter Blaze and Billy Bob Childers got caught up in it. You saw Jason Bates in that blue car sneaking through. But we've got a one-lap shootout to settle this. Lev Azarov leads, Ralph West, Timothy Ruiz, Billy Ray Smith Thompson, and Roy Warren. You're the rest of your top 5. Warren going for 4th, but Lev Azarov able to hold off the 8 so far. Ralph West not getting a run through 3 and 4, and yet another winless streak from 2014 is snapped today as Lev Azarov goes to victory lane with Roos Autosport. Third place Timothy Ruiz matches his best career finish. Brandon Crasta, second start ever, second top 10 finish. And finally, good things come to Chuck Johnson and Monica Rook, considering the last few weeks they have had. And now we take a quick look at the point standings. Leaving 70-77, Zach Webster now leads by 31 points over Rick Forrest. Billy Ray Smith Thompson and Bob Steffens are tied for 3rd. Hunter Blaze just 2 points behind them. And then just 27 points separate Lev Azarov in 6th and Riley Durbin in 10th. Durbin doing a great job hanging on to 10th place in the standings, driving for 2 different teams this season. And if these FARC Lowe Dollar Series teams thought they were safe from the carnage with 70-77 behind them, well, they're wrong, because the Vicker Collision and Glass 100 from the Grain Detour Raceway is next. And you can catch all the action right here on the FARC Racing Network.